Yeah.
All right, so I've got an interesting question for you. It's a little bit off the wall, but I noticed this book has a 3.7 average on Goodreads, and invariably all of my favorite books have between a 3.6 and 3.7 average in Goodreads. And it's like I said, it's a little bit off the wall, but it means, I think it means that like 2/3 of people really love the book, and 1/3 of people like hates it for some reason. And all of my favorite books are that way. Um, I'll give you some recent examples too. So just so you can compare your own book with them. But Cuyahoga by Pete Betty, 3.6 on Goodreads, 5 stars from me. Year of Rest and Relaxation by these are just the most recent three. And the other one is Less by Andrew Sean Greer. All in
Who
that
could
range.
give that book less than 5 stars? Like,
I have
who?
no idea.
What kind of terrible person is giving less than 5 stars? Sorry.
I think maybe they think the characters aren't likable enough, or the plot isn't tidy enough, or something. And so what my question, I guess, is, when you're making those writerly choices that you think are going to enrage certain people or something, do you think at all about that, or do you like delight in that because those are the kind of books you like? Because you're probably trying to write the kind of book you like personally.
Yeah, I mean, you have to write
write
work that you think is good, that you like.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how else would you figure out what, if you tried to use Goodreads reviews to like write a book, it would be impossible. But I do, like, I had kind of a lesson when I first published The Girls from Corona Del Mar, and I had like a day where I looked at Goodreads. Everyone had told me not to look at Goodreads, but like, it just hurts. Like when like you feel like you stumbled into a room where people are talking about you and saying mean things, and it feels
and they're
embarrassing,
so personal or something,
and it feels personal. Sometimes they can be mean spirited. Sometimes they're just like, wasn't for me or whatever. And so I told my friend David, and then he sent me the favorite book by one of my like 1-star reviewers, and it was called Tie Dye, a Quilting Mystery, and that was like her favorite book. And I was like, oh, you should never have read my book. I'm so sorry that you read it. You must have thought it was going to be something totally different. And if you love quilting mysteries, like, there's almost no chance you're going to like this. Like, definitely read something else. I wish I could give you your money back. So as you kind of like move in the professional world, you just realize like there's a huge diversity of readers looking for different things. I'm not going to be up everybody's alley. I definitely am more aware. I get the most angry letters that I get, besides from people who think I'm maligning the medical profession, because I have a lot of like nurses and doctors do bad things in my books. But other than that, it's people upset about the swearing, the amount of F-bombs in the book. And it's so funny because that's like outside of any kind of readerly thought that I have. Like I hardly even notice that in a book. But it does make me think about it. And it's made me be like, well, do I need this word? Like, is there a funnier word? Is there a different word? And there almost always is. Like, sometimes I still use it. I'm not like anti, the F word, but I guess it does filter in to some extent an awareness of like what bugs people and what doesn't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I suppose I suppose that there's quite a few people who just stumble into it is true that the quilting mystery crowd is not going to be entertained by the same thing as
like who put that in her hands? What irresponsible bookseller? No, I'm kidding. I don't know how she found it, but I do think that the cover, the hardback cover of The Girls from Corona Del Mar, didn't really give any idea of how dark the book was going to be, and so I think that was hard. And I think that this cover is my favorite of my covers, and I made me happy that you said you liked it. So it's just like a little bit funkier. It's like a little bit weirder. And I think that helps not be like unprepared for everything that happens in it.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, and it makes, I think it makes the book feel stranger or something. And then I love that it kind of ties in with the end, which is barely, hinted at through. I don't know. It made me like the cover more. So it's kind of weird to talk about how much you like the cover, but I just thought the cover of the book was kind of striking. So
Oh, writers think about it all the time. I mean, we talk about it because like it's something that like we have veto power about. If you really don't like a cover, you can be like, no, show me something else. But it's not like, I mean, we would be in real trouble if we used my ideas about what we should put on the cover.
oh yeah.
So, like, I have the worst marketing sense in the world. It would be, I would sell 4 copies. So it's always like interesting to me what they pick and what makes you understand what a book is going to be. It's like a very subtle kind of communication.